Hello and welcome back to Norfolk Fords. Today I'm going to a wedding, and this is clearly the shirt I would want to wear to a wedding, but apparently no, I have to wear a suit. Very disappointing. Anyway, in the workshop before I head off, just thought I'd show off what little progress we've made with, drumroll please, the Lily Harvester. Pretty much everybody guessed it straight away. It is a flower picking rig. Surprise from Flower Farmer, I know. So, let's talk about how it works and what repairs have been done and how far we've gotten and what's the next step. So, we have 3 sets of belts. These belts grab hold of a flower stem, and then as they are beginning to get gripped here, they're cut off from the root. They go all the way up the back there, all self-tensioning, and then we get to these wheels. These wheels are quite simply clever. Rubber piece here against a big metal wheel, and the rubber is again spring pressed on, similar to those idlers there. So then the wheel grips hold of the stem as this belt lets go, and then the flowers are gently, from this angle, spun all the way around and laid gently on the belt. Then the belt goes off and onto a trailer. Very nice and simple, very good idea. Like I said in the video where I walked around this and sort of said, what is it? Dad designed this, and he got the idea of it from when he was a lad, riding on the toolbox with his dad on a sugar beet harvester. So it's a very similar concept. I'm sure anybody who's driven an old sugar beet harvester trailed setup would agree this is all very similar. So what are we doing? So it's been modernised by FenFab, as previously mentioned. We've got a load sensing pump on the back here, and what that means is as the PTO is driving, that's only going to produce as much pressure as the valve block at the back, other side, actually asks for, because that is the beauty of how load sense works. So the PTO will be driving all of the variable adjustment motors, so stuff like driving the wheels, driving the belt, which are all chain driven, driving the exit belt as well. So that's driving the more constant pressure stuff on a spool constantly, get my words out, on a constantly pressured spool valve, which, where is the pipes? The pipes are here. These are little and large because this is ready to be turned into load sense, but we haven't got a tractor to run this with load sense yet. We're hoping that we will be in the future. So that valve block at the top there is load sense ready. So what have we done to make it load sense ready? If I just step up here, there is a nice shiny bung there. That would be the load sense line if we actually got a tractor which was equipped with load sense. So then everything is controlled with, tripping over, this little control box here which Dad made up. So the bottom half here is simple directional rams and stuff, and above are directional little adjusters for the block at the back. So that's where we are with it. That's what we've done, that's what we've been up to. What we had to wait for was information back from the people who provided this pump set as to what we needed to do for the pipes, because FenFab had installed the let me just double check. Yeah, that is the main feed from tank, this big one. Then this is main pressure out. This is then load sense. I know, should have put a 45 on, would have been nicer, but it doesn't matter because the machine sticks out stupidly far. And then this one here is a case drain. So yeah, lots of little modernising pieces. We also have a camera kit on order, ready to bring that up to a modern camera setup. We had an older setup, but as part of the farm, we're now moving all of our cameras throughout our tractors, because cameras have come and gone, onto the standard 4-pins. So that way, if, like the harvester for instance, we're packed up by the way, you'll have to stay tuned for next week, see how we got on with that. Say the harvester had a camera problem, you can swap a camera off of this, we can just borrow it, or a monitor off of this, and just swap it out, and just, you know, there you are, you're working again. So just having everything uniform just makes everything that little bit nicer when you're working on a farm. It's a lot of what Dad's sort of philosophy is with the machines, is that he wants as many multi-tools as he can have. Those aren't exactly his word, but basic principle, and I'm sure a lot of other farmers agree with this. You want every tractor to be able to do every job on the farm, and the T6 is a great example of that, because we've got the T7s, which are nice big horsepower. They are our main runners, and the T6 is always the multi-tool spare, because it spends most of its life on the sprayer, or I'm using it on little runarounds, following up with trailers and stuff like that. But if the harvester tractor went down, the T6 is just as capable and equipped exactly the same as the other tractors, and that can be slot in place, while the T7 that's broken down can be repaired. So it's just part of Dad's philosophy, trying to keep things running, because there's nothing more expensive than something broken down, because once it's broken down you're also paying for the mechanic to come out, the parts to come out, and also your driver sat there scratching his arse basically. So if you can have everything swappable, it's all very good. So we're already picking asters. Why aren't I using it yet? Well, until yesterday we were still tulip lifting. That meant we had no tractors spare, not one. Well, we did have the 4610, but I still haven't fixed the starter motor, so that's naughty me. And we did have the 590, but that's not modern enough to run these electronics. It's not deplug equipped, whereas the 46 is, because I upgraded it for my drilling. So realistically, we didn't have a tractor, so I couldn't go any further than this. We're all wired up. You know, I know the box is still open, but all of this up here, wired up in place. I've got the right plugs now, because when we got it back, we ordered a load of 3-pin plugs when we needed 4. Silly us, never mind, it happens. We're sorted now. So all we really need to do now is cut this shaft down by a little bit, because this stub shaft used to be inside here, but now the gearbox is completely differently set up, so it's set more forward. So we need to cut the shaft down so it fits comfortably and you don't punch the gearbox out the back. And then test everything up, swap round the plugs so we get everything in the firing order that we want, and then she'll be into asters with a few bits of metal put on here and there, like these guides, because this one has rotted out, and we've got a couple over here which have been made up ready for the 2 missing ones, but I should think that middle one does look a little bit rotten. So yeah, that's my I'm off to a wedding video. So I hope you're all satisfied now, knowing that this is indeed a lily, well, what was a lily harvester, but we no longer grow lilies. This is primarily for asters now, and what a wicked bit of kit. It's such a simple idea, and now if you have a look at Grimmy's social media, I believe somebody in Lincolnshire has been cutting asters with a custom Grimmy beet harvester, which is quite funny, because we had the idea first. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and follow us on all the social medias as usual. Stay up to date with all our flower farming shenanigans, such as silly machines like this. So thank you again for watching, and we will see you on Friday's video.